As I have no doubt explained many times, Ninjago is a show that has gone on for a very long time, and also it's just the home of a lot of wonderful fans, and every single fan does have their own interpretation of the show. And these interpretations may not actually be confirmed within the show itself, and that is exactly what a headcanon is. And I did a video before where I talked about your headcanons, and I asked if you guys enjoyed that video, please comment more of them. And well, I got a lot of them. So this is gonna be the video as a continuation on Ninjago headcanons, because I really do like them, and I've got to say, I have read the first one just to obviously get an idea on what I'm in for, and I absolutely love it. So thank you guys so much for all the comments, you guys are absolutely amazing, and let's get into Ninjago headcanons. Because the first one is going to be coming from Super Ben Boy 5886. Hello my friend, and yours is the one that I read, and it's also basically the one that made me want to make the video. So your one is, I have a headcanon that after the event of Skybound, Jay sold the estate that he was supposed to inherit, after telling Ed and Edna directly that he knows the truth of who his parents really are. He then used this money towards rebuilding the monastery, as that's how we see it being built again in March of the Oni. Honestly, this is kind of perfect. Because here's the thing, as much as Jay probably liked the big mansion, he probably didn't want to stay in it ultimately because it doesn't really match in with who the ninja really are. So him taking that estate, selling it off, and using it to rebuild the monastery is actually kind of fantastic. And to be honest, I've never thought about it until now. That is probably how I will think of it from here onwards. Because Jay doing that kind of just makes sense, honestly. And it's something I genuinely think Jay would do. So thank you for this. Thanks for pointing out, because honestly, this is probably going to be my headcanon as well going forward, because it just kind of makes sense. Honestly, I feel kind of bad, but you kind of just have given me no notes, and I wanted more attention to be put on that comment, because I really do like that. Like I said, it just kind of makes sense that it's something that Jay would do. Of course, the ninja would probably question where all the money came from, but ultimately, that's not really something we have to think about. And I'd also like to think that Jay did tell everyone about the events of Skybound, but we don't know at the end of the day. But yeah, I absolutely love this one. If there's any headcanon to take away, it's probably going to be that one. But the next one is going to be coming from Joe McMoney. Hello my friend, and your headcanon is that every single realm has its own special moon phase that the others don't. I get this idea from the fact that we've seen the blood moon originating from the wildness and the yin-yang eclipse originating from Ninjago. I think it would be cool. Honestly, again, this honestly does just make sense. Because like you said, we've seen the yin-yang eclipse occur in Ninjago, and that happens once every 1,000 years, I believe it was. And the blood moon, I don't remember if they stated how often it happens. Again, probably once every 1,000 years. But if every single realm had an event that happened once every 1,000 years, it would be cool to see if every single realm did have that. I mean, the only one I think wouldn't be able to have one is probably the Cursed Realm, because we've seen that the Cursed Realm is just the inside of the Preeminence, so she doesn't exactly have a sky. Or maybe she does. I mean, we haven't seen it too much. We've seen it enough, but we haven't seen it a lot. But yeah, it'd be cool to see if every single realm did have, say, a moon or a special type of night, depending on the realm. Like, for example, I won't go through every single realm, but imagine if Ninjago had a night, for example, where a Jin could grant their own wishes for one night. That would be cool. That would be really cool. It'd be cool to see if that was explored. But yeah, again, I really like this one. Thank you for commenting. But the third one is going to be coming from HD Ninja MS Brick Studio. Hello, my friend. And your headcanon is that after the ninja don't use a specific suit for a while, they give it to the museum so it can be displayed there or used for reference, like the final Battle Lloyd suit robot thing from the opening of Season 5. And I will say, again, I would like to expand on this because I do like that idea, but I would also say the main thing against that for me personally is that after the event of the merge, I feel like we would have seen that scene, Joe with the scene where Lloyd sees the kids and they're displaying all the ninja. I feel like we would have seen a couple of suits in that scene if they were just giving the suits out. But I do think in certain instances, you would probably see the ninja say give away suits for reasons, because we actually do see that in the series. In Mother Doomsday Comic Shop in Season 2, we see that he has each of the Ninja ZX uniforms, and he says they're authentic and signed by the Ninja. So clearly the Ninja do give away suits to an extent. I doubt he'd give all of them away to the museum, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it maybe they do, because the robot from the start of season 5, it definitely can't be the actual Lloyd final battle suit, because for one, as far as we're aware, they only had one of them. And two, when the arm falls off, the sleeve falls off with it. So unless it was a replica or the arm just ripped off with it. But yeah, I think that specific instance is probably not the actual final battle outfit. But like you said, maybe just used for reference. But yeah, there's definitely instances where the Ninja clearly gives suits out or gives them away for any sort of reason, because like I said, Mother Doomsday has, as he claims, authentic ZX gear, and the Ninja don't deny it. So it's one of those things where they clearly do. I don't know who else may have them. I'd like to think Dareth probably has a couple of them. But yeah, I like this idea. I like the idea that they may give away outfits as a way of representing themselves. So yeah, I like this. But the fourth one is coming from Mr. Monopoly 1221 BMA. Hello, my friend. And your one is, I have a headcanon that if the Realm Crystal was not destroyed, the Ninja could fast travel to anywhere in the Merged Lands. Honestly, yeah. So, I will say, I have a video about the Realm Crystal in the works. Basically, just me trying to explain it away, because the Realm Crystal in of itself is a very interesting artifact. And to not give the video away, I do have a theory on where the Realm Crystal actually came from. But that video is coming soon. But, yeah, I believe that if it wasn't destroyed by Lloyd in Season 10, I feel like it probably would have worked, as you said, as a way essentially to skip around in the Merged Lands. And if it wasn't that, I feel like it probably would have just stopped working in a weird way, because it wouldn't be able to take you anywhere. There's no destination. Maybe to avoid, like, the realm between realms. But honestly, it's one of those things where it would either have to be it no longer works, or yeah, like you said, you would be able to like jump to different parts of the land. So yeah, I do think I agree with you. But like I said, I do actually have a video coming up about the Realm Crystal. And honestly, this is probably going to make its way into it now, because I do like that idea of what it's going to be doing after the events of the merge. Truth be told, it's nearly done in terms of its script and its research. I never actually got to Dragon's Rising when it comes to it yet. So that will probably be a part of it. So thank you very much. But I will say, if you guys want to see that video soon, let me know, because it is nearly done, and I can push it up if you guys would like to. But yeah, thank you for the headcanon. I actually really like this one, and it does ultimately make sense. And the fifth and final one I'm going to go through for today actually does come from EasyGamer895. Hello, and you said hello back. You have a slight headcanon on Jay's feelings towards Sensei Garmadon from Season 3 and 4. He never fully trusts him, regardless of being saved in the ultimate battle of good and evil. By the comments of Jay on Codename Arturus, saying we should never have listened to him, when they got to the ancient city of Ouroboros, Day of the Dragon saying, first it was 4 arms, then he became a dragon, would you mind picking a body and sticking to it, please? After the transformation throughout the series, his tone was still a bit negative. And honestly, I'm with you on that. For me, it is kind of a case of, I reckon, all of the ninja to an extent possibly didn't really trust Garmadon, but ultimately, they just all slowly but surely came round to him. And, well, I could kind of give you an order on who gets round to him the quickest. In my opinion, the one who came around to Garmadon the quickest was, of course, Lloyd, because it's his father being back all good. Next up is probably going to be Zane. I would say Zane is probably the most impartial towards Garmadon because he's a Nindroid, so it would make sense he would be the next up. Then I would say it's probably going to be Cole, because Cole is very relaxed when it comes to things like that. I just think he's the least likely to actually have a full-blown problem. And then that, of course, leaves Nia, Kai, and Jay. And I would say Kai, strangely enough, is the one up next, because he's actually the one that demonstrates like the least amount of resentment towards him. So I'd say him. Then I would say Nia, because he was the one who obviously tried to corrupt her, he kidnapped her, he did a lot of things. But ultimately, Nia does kind of figure out how to get over it. And then Jay, for the exact same reasons, all the things that he did to Nia. And in my opinion, it does make sense. I feel like Jay would be the person who wouldn't be able to detach the actions from the actual person. Because good Garmadon was good, by all accounts. He had no account of evil within him. But I just don't think Jay would have seen it that way. So it's definitely one of those things where I am agreeing with you on that. I do think, ultimately speaking, Jay probably is the most likely one to have a problem. I think in the end, he didn't have a problem with Garmadon, but I would say over the course of Season 4 in particular, I would say that's when Garmadon really came into play, because that's when Jay actually spent time with him. But yeah, I agree with this. I think Jay, to an extent, did have problems with Garmadon, and I do think you are on the right track. But those were the headcanons that I picked out for today, and let me know what you think of all of them, if you agree with them, if you disagree, if you have a different reasoning why you agree or disagree as well. But those are the ones, and make sure to leave your ones in the comments, and I might pick yours for the next video if you want to see it. But that is about it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, take care, okay,